Hello everyone, Tutu Mora here. Today we are going to be talking about different ways that we can get out of our mind and into our body. So these can be called different ways to meditate. Meditation can be so many different things, but it can really just be about feeling present with yourself and getting a little bit more out of the chatter in your mind. And sometimes deep breathing can be really helpful, and sometimes it doesn't feel particularly accessible when we're really up in our head. So we're going to go through a couple tools that can be also really helpful, but don't involve deep breathing. So find a comfortable space to be. You can be sitting, you can be laying down, you can even be walking around as long as you feel safe to zone out a little bit. So a place where you're not going to obviously encounter any traffic or anything. So make sure that your body is in a safe space where it can relax and just tune inside. But this can be done wherever you are. So let yourself breathe normally. And we're just going to practice creating tension in our body and then releasing that tension. So that can look like, for example, making a fist. Make a fist, squeeze the arms or the muscles in your arms as much as you can, hold for a few seconds, and then relax all the tension away. You can take that to the same side, you can take that to the other side, but let's do this back and forth 2 times to each side. Making a fist, squeezing all the muscles in your arms, really create a feeling of what it feels like to be tense, to hold tension, and then let it all go. Let's take that back to the first side. Making a fist, create that squeeze. See if you can just tap into all the muscles that you possibly can create that tension into. Hold it there. And then relax. Same thing last time to the other side. Finding that squeeze, feeling into the front of the arm, the back of the arm. Where can we create and just tap into these muscles? And relaxing. And now let's take that same thing to the legs. So sometimes it can be helpful to even place your hands on your thighs. And you can start by curling your toes, finding whatever degree of activation and squeeze you can create through your feet, through your legs. Maybe it's just your thighs, maybe it's just your calves, but play around with how can I just bring my presence and awareness to these muscles, create some tension, hold that tension, and then let it go. Let's take that a couple times. Whether you're taking both legs together, whether you're taking one leg at a time, it doesn't necessarily matter, because the practice in itself is let me focus on something else. Let me focus on a feeling, on a sensation in my body. Hold that, stay with it, stay with that feeling, and then let it go and just feel the difference, feel the space. Feel that expanding and contracting within my body. So let's take a couple more, just whether you're taking both legs, whether you're just taking a foot, whether you're taking a thigh muscle, but just be with whatever you've chosen and just be with it, because that's the practice. Feel the sensation, feel that squeeze, feel that tension that you can create within your own body, and then let it go. A couple more. Let yourself breathe normally. So we're not holding our breath as we create this tension. We're just allowing that focus to descend into either the leg, a certain muscle, feeling that contraction, that tension. And then releasing that. And this can be a really helpful thing, especially when we can't slow down enough to really breathe, But just to practice, if we're feeling really tense and stressed, what does it feel like to create tension elsewhere in the body, and practice holding that tension and releasing it. Practicing focusing on something else, the sensation in the body, and creating tension and relaxing. So that is one helpful tool that can be a meditation practice. You're just finding a deeper sense of presence in this one moment. You're bringing your senses alive through feeling, and you're bringing that focus down into your body instead of the thoughts that might be going on in your mind. So another way that we can do this, again, to get out of what's happening in our mind and to become a little bit more present and alive through our senses, is to turn our focus away from the body and more so in our environment. So one way I like to do this is just to tap into the 5 senses and locate some things that you can see, hear, taste, smell, and feel. So let's start with things that we can see. So you can open your eyes, look around the space that you're in, whether you're in a room, whether you're walking on the street, and locating 4 or 5 things that you can see with your eyes. So for example, I see the plants that are in the room. I see different exercise equipment in the room I'm in. I see posters of muscles, of the skeletal system, of the nervous system. I see people walking around outside. And so all of these things that I see, I'm really directing my focus elsewhere other than what state my mind is in, or if I'm feeling particularly anxious. Just focusing on 5 things you can see. And then let's come to our sense of hearing. Locate 4 things that you can hear. So I can hear the ticking clock, cars outside. I can hear the wind outside. And I can also hear the sound of silence. So I am the only person in the studio right now. And that is also a quality, a sound, the absence of the usual hustle and bustle of the studio. I hear the silence. And just taking a moment to hear those sounds, to be with those sounds, and to just take in the quality of them. Now let's locate 3 things that you can feel. So tapping into our sense of touch, thinking about textures. You can feel the texture of the clothes you're wearing. So I can feel the kind of woolly texture of my sweater. I can feel the texture and the smoothness of my palms as they rub on top of one another. If you move your hands together, you can even feel the sensation of warmth that you can create. So just feeling that warmth, feeling the smoothness of your skin. And maybe reaching out around you and feeling the texture of some object nearby. Or if you're outside, you can feel the texture of the grass, or maybe the softness of a petal on a flower. But really letting yourself be with those textures and just really let that sense of touch become the biggest and loudest of your senses, of the voices, of the ways that you're kind of receiving feedback from your environment. And being with that for a moment, really letting that texture kind of be your main focus for a second. And then moving on to your sense of smell. What are some, maybe just 2 things? So we're kind of going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for our 5 senses. And what are 2 things that you can smell right now? And so I can smell the cleaning spray that we use on our equipment after each client is finished. Maybe you can smell a candle that's burning in your home. Maybe you can smell just the scent of blooming flowers in the springtime. Or the smell of some food nearby. But just taking a moment to, again, allow this sense to be the main thread that you're following, the focus for your mind for just a moment. And then finally, we can move to taste. So you can either taste something, you can have a sip of water, you can simply just taste the taste of your own mouth, swallowing a moment, just really letting that sense, again, be where most of your focus is for just a moment. Let yourself land in that sense of taste. And then you can bring yourself back to your awareness and just notice how you're feeling after just directing your focus in these directions, after getting a little bit more into your body, into your senses. You may still be aware of this chatter in your mind, but you also just may feel a sense of settling amidst that, a sense of just that this practice can soothe your nervous system a little bit. It can distract your mind for a moment. It can get you into your body. Even though you may still be in your head, it can be a nice grounding moment for you before you return back towards the rest of your day. And I want to offer these because meditation can be so many different things. It can be really tricky to sit with your thoughts and take some deep breaths when your mind is really racy. So there are so many different ways to meditate, to be present with yourself, to get into your body. And these are a couple of different ones. So to create that tension and release in different areas of your body, and to get into your senses with this kind of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to notice what you can see, what you can hear, what you can smell, feel, and taste. So I hope these are helpful. These are really quick and easy ways that you can take with you, whether you're traveling, whether you're in a new environment and you need to just quickly settle yourself, whether you're sitting at your desk at work. So, add these to your little toolkit of resources that you have just to calm your nervous system and be in your body. And I hope you found this helpful. I'll see you back here next time on the Wise Recharge with Us from Home series. Take care.